We're just at every level. We'll be connecting in so we can share this far and wide. I am so happy to have Chrissy Collins here with me today. Hi, Chrissy of We Bring Hope Network. So, oh my gosh, I love how every time before I start Freedom Friday, all these beautiful things start coming up to the surface of what we're going to be talking about today. So we are, those of you who have been tuning in to anything I've been saying, you know this, that spring started on February 4th, which was in the peak of our blizzard time. So all of you are like, what? What does that mean? But if you listened, even with all that snow, the birds were starting to change their tune. And even the feeling, especially now, you go outside and there's just something different in the air. So what happens with every season, every cycle has a quiet, invisible yin beginning. And then it has this huge, expansive, visible show. But this is the truth of all of life. In order to have that huge, visible show, there's a lot of work that has to happen behind the scenes. So right now we're in like the peak of the beginning. We're not in the peak, we're in the beginning of the behind the scenes work. So the energies are starting to wake up, starting to rise up. I've been trying to get a picture, a robin or two that are coming around, but the worms aren't at the surface yet because it's too cold. So, all these energies are starting to rise up. So looking at this as a process, because everything is a mirror that also reflects all of the processing that we're going through within and in our lives. And especially when we think about if we've had some really intense experiences of traumas and adversities at any level, at any point in our life, those are things that become stuck that we have to heal and process and break through. So, like even when you look at me, and I often I do my best to try to tell you guys that there's a lot that happened to get me to this point where I'm at today. It's not like, I waved my magic wand and I went from being a heap in my closet to like, here I am. There was a lot of processing, and there was a process. There was a good amount of time where I was like underneath the earth in my little seed casing. I'm like, hell no, I'm not coming out. Not yet. It's not time. It's not my time. I've got some work to do. But then there's this timing piece that like you can't force it. So whether we're thinking about, the seed breaking forth, the little seedling, or you're thinking of like the caterpillar that's gone into its cocoon, you can't force and control that process. You can't make it any longer or any shorter than it needs to be, because that time in the cocoon or in the seed casing is so precious and so important. You come out too soon, the processing is not complete. And in the case of like a butterfly, that it could be the end of their life. So that process, that time, but then when you do get to the point where it's time to break out, there's like nothing that can stop you. It's like, right? And it's like the TNT, but again, it may look like, wow, that's magic. Like the fairies wave their wands and all of a sudden there's flowers everywhere, but there was a lot that was happening. So what this kind of weaves into, and then I want her to take over, is this idea as humans, like this is beautiful to reflect on how nature does it, but we have all these other emotions and patterns and experiences that play into being in our process. And probably one of the biggest ones that I am like turning over again and again and again and again for myself, at the level of nature, there is no such thing as control. Doesn't exist. She's highly, highly creative and cooperative at the biggest picture level. So some of the things that may look like, and we may kind of try to play them up at the human level of like she's controlling, and no, it's not like that at all. So there is that level for all of us when we're in an intense process of doing that dance of feeling into our own timing and knowing when we need to engage, perhaps to give ourselves a nudge, whether that's from within or tapping into resources from the outside. And if you're like a parent or someone who's working in a healing field and working with individuals that are in this state of intense, like I'm not ready to come out yet. And it's this beautiful experience too of, can you tune in enough to know when to give the right loving nudge like the sun would, but not be like ripping it out of the soil and like, I'm just going to peel that out, because that's not going to work. That's going to further traumatize the individual. So that level of connection, creativity, cooperation versus getting to that point where it's like it's forcible control and manipulation. So part of how this weaves into what Chrissy brings through the We Bring Hope Network is she works directly with individuals that have experienced trauma, helping to bring them access to the resources they need. So I'm just going to turn it over to you to see what this kind of bubbles up in you.
Oh, well, thank you so very much for having me. I really, really, truly appreciate it. And you just like spoke more life into me, by the way, just in your in your explanation. I'm just like, reminders, yep. No, we don't control things. We just what how we live in them, right? And how we embrace it and grow in it. So, and you said it best, working with individuals that have experienced some form of trauma, any form of trauma, and helping them connect to resources. So I just feel like I'm the catalyst. I feel like life experiences that have happened to me, childhood and teenage and early adulthood, filled of just repeat trauma. And then I was able to receive all of this great resources, because I work for this multi-billion-dollar corporation that pays for these things. And as I'm going through this healing process and beginning it and learning things, and I mean, it was something simple as goal setting. I love goal setting Mondays, and I would just get in there and be so excited because I used to have a to-do list of 100 things to do. And it was us learning how to just do 3 things a week, and being proud of ourselves that we got to those 3 things. And so, but it was like a breath of fresh air when I found that out, because I feel like we've been trained so much in academia or in life to we have to do all these things to be successful. So as I'm going through this process, I'm learning like, wow, this is just amazing. Like, what would have happened if I would have learned these things 10, 15 years ago, And then I'm like, but there's so many people out in the world that doesn't know these things, like the simple thing of goal setting, or I cannot think of the name of it right now, but learning how to, these are the things that are taking you away, these things that you're doing are taking you away from what you love and where you want to be, like here in the center, and writing down what are the things that you do love and where you want to be over here, and how do you get over here, like what are the things that you can stop doing over here to get over here, and focusing more of getting to that point. So learning that was like, oh my God, I didn't realize I hadn't been doing that, because I had thought that that's what I'd been doing as a mother, an employee, wife, and all these things. But no, I hadn't been, because I'd been really focusing more on the things that were taking me away from being the people that I loved over here. So created We Bring Hope Network because I knew that those resources were not out there for people that just might not have access or awareness that is needed. Like that's something else I've been learning on this journey of starting We Bring Hope, is that some people aren't aware that they have experienced some trauma in their life that needs healing, for them to move forward. They're not aware that the actions and the steps that they're taking today are the reason why, I mean, the trauma that they experienced are the reason why that they're making the decisions and how they're making their decisions today. So we right now are working with youth because COVID has ran havoc on our babies. And I have a soft heart for youth, because I just, maybe, I don't know, maybe I feel like if I had someone that had a soft heart for me when I was younger, life would be different. All those things needed to happen. They all needed to happen so that I can recognize today that we need to plant these seeds and give our youth just tiny nuggets. Like I'm not looking for change right now, but knowing that we're planting seeds that hopefully when they get older or go into life, when they share them, and two, that they are watering them to grow into these, fabulous human beings that, are going to um, just live life, like what changed life, the trajectory of their life by just one conversation with someone can change their life forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I want to plug into that because there's something that had come up that one of the other times that we were having a conversation. And I think it's really pointed because I see it here as well. And I'm a mother of 4. So I see it in me, in my life, I'm playing it out everywhere. It's what you said. It's like, so even if I'm in a situation where my child has access to what you're, offering, like these beautiful resources, so they go out and they're having these nurturing experiences that are supporting their healing and planting seeds. But if they come back to an environment where I'm a crazy person because I'm not taking care of myself, I'm not nurturing myself, so I'm not co-creating an environment that's going to nurture what's been planted in them. It isn't that it takes it away necessarily, it's still there. It's just like, wow, what might happen if I tuned in to my role in supporting their healing? And what might happen if I began to become aware that whatever they're experiencing is part of my reality? Like we're co-creating whatever situation is coming up for them. So we can co-create the healing of that instead of perpetuating, like you said, the cycles of the trauma and everything that looks like. So, in my practice, I will very point blank, like when someone brings in a kiddo, I'm even a teenager, I'm like, all right, mama, like
you got to be here for it.
yeah, it's like, let's take a look as much as we can because there's always something bigger that they're experiencing, that the child is literally becoming kind of a projection of what the parent is experiencing. So I'm curious, because I know you recognize this as well, how that's kind of shown up for you and guided how you approach things that We Bring Hope.
So you got to be really excited that you said that part, because that's something that hopefully we are going to be moving into. Well, we've organically started moving into it. It was kind of funny. So I guess I failed to mention, we started with reaching our youth through boxing. So they come every Saturday. They get to box for about an hour and a half. Then we have peer-to-peer group support and mentoring, fellowship time. That's what I like to call it. But technically this is what it's called. But it just letting them know that they're not in this by themselves, and ways to be able to overcome, this. You might connect with someone else over here that's going through something similar, and to know that you're not the only one really helps your journey to healing, because it's like, oh, I'm not the only one, like you're feeling that way too. Okay. Yeah. So I did realize, though, probably I think November or something like that we were pouring into these kids every week, every Saturday. And then some of them would come back and we have to start all over again. And so I noticed that and recognized that, okay, well, it's the whole family unit. It's not just this one particular person. And I will say that in my own home as well, with the 6 kids that we have in our house, and dealing with a very bright and super intelligent senior. She had her challenges, but then I even took it back to my youth, to where when my family found out about my trauma, they broke down. Like our whole entire family unit just broke, because my parents did not know what to do or understand how to help me. So we actually are going to be starting parent support groups where we come together, and have other resources come in and just teach us and heal us and give us those things. And it helped to recognize, okay, your child is going through this. And you said something earlier, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but that whole, okay, they might not be ready to heal and they might not be ready to take out on that. However, this is how you can be supportive of it. And just being conscious and being there is really important, because we all want to feel safe, right? So especially when you've experienced some trauma, you need to feel safe. So just knowing that you have a parent or a parent figure or someone that's there that wants to embrace you and be there with you, that's the kind of environment and culture we want to create at We Bring Hope, and especially in what it's called Champ Camp. So with our boxing group, it's funny because a couple weeks ago we had new families come, and us moms just sat there and started talking. And now I'm calling it we heal together, we build together, we grow together. Because I
Mm,
realized that's what we're doing. It was like in the shower one morning, I was like, that's what we're doing. Like we're providing resources. I had one mom that, is a small business owner, and another mom that wanted to become one. So
mm,
then if that mom that it knows what she's doing is connecting with the other mom to help her not be as stressful, she's going to be able to show up for her daughter more that's in our boxing program, because now she's like, okay, well, I have this, this, and this. And you get so empowered. That empowerment tools allows you to be more open and aware and present for those that are around you, not just your children, but your family, your friends, your coworkers, all of that. And so I found that in our little community that we started building, it's like, oh, okay, well, we do this over here, and we do this over here. And wow, oh my gosh, it's just the families coming back that next week and was like, you know what, my week was so different. And so
mhm.
I've sitting there thinking, wow, if the mom's week was so different, daughter's week was so different,
Yeah.
because
Oh my
mom
God.
was happier and she was able to pour into her
Right.
differently, you know. Maybe she was more open. We don't know exactly everything, but we planted that seed of hope that it's not, you have somebody else to here to help you. You have a community to help you to get through this challenges as a single mom and help you grow, so then you can help your daughter grow, you
Mhm.
know. So we have to heal everyone. It's everyone, not just the kids. So
Right, right, because we don't exist in isolation.
oh,
And I love like what you're speaking of, it reminds me of a community garden. So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's like it doesn't have to feel overwhelming. I mean, like you said, like the resources are all right there. Who you need is right there and they're all around you. It's just waking up to the connections and nurturing those connections.
Mhm.
That's another piece that I've really been opening to over the years is the power of collaboration, which is part of why I evolved these conversations and created the Conscious Community Collaborative. But yeah, I mean, once you start amplifying, I mean, it just amplifies. I mean, each of us are these brilliant lights full of incredible experience and wisdom for ourselves and our families, but for everyone around us. So I love that you are, intentionally creating these groups where that sharing is just happening. Like you said, it's happening organically. So
Yes. Like,
love
oh
it.
yeah. So that intentional, and that's my word for the year. My affirmation word is intentional. So I love that you use that, because I'm like, yes, I affirm with being intentional. Like I said, but I don't know, you're making me want to cry, to be honest, because I'm like, yes, it is. Just thinking about it, because I know, like, I can't wait to see them tomorrow, right? Like I can't wait to see them and see, like, okay, how did things go? Did y'all have a meeting? Like, and just I just feel like that's my gift, right? My gift is to connect. Like, it's not to know and how to do everything, but I talk so much and I learn so much. I'm like, oh, I know somebody over here that can help you over here. Like, and really
Yeah.
connecting the dots and connecting the people is where I feel like my gifts are. So living in that truth and not trying to work on something else, like, a website or something. I have learned and grown. So I feel like giving that to our families and our parents is just going to change the world. We're going
Yeah.
to have kids that change the world. We're going to have parents that change their families and break some generational curses. I feel it.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely beautiful. Um, any final words or like I'm wondering, I'm not able to see comments and stuff right now, but how could we support you? Like if people are just like, yes, like what is it that We Bring Hope might need in terms of support, whether it's infrastructure or just in any way?
Collaboration.
What's that?
Your word, collaboration. We are better together.
Yes.
So I've already connected with some people in the collaboration. So, and I've loved that. Like I've felt, I guess, like, what is it? Whole, right? Like I'm not out here just reading and reading and reading, but people are bringing resources to us, and that part is amazing. So like again, any type of, if you feel connected to something of helping people heal and helping our families heal and giving them those tools and resources. I'm open. I am the open book of ready for any type of partnership, or, just, hey, do you want to come talk to our kids, or do you want to come talk to our parents? Just giving some of those little nuggets I feel like are way more important, or way more impactful, not important, but more impactful than like this full curriculum of something that you have to go through for 12 weeks, like it's you could say one word and I'm sitting there listening to that word for the next week, and breathing it and digesting it. And what does that look like in my life? And I've seen that in my parents, or I say in my parents and our parents, and in our kids, like they're just like, oh, this is different things. Their anxiety levels are going down, their stress levels are going down, like they're more open to, we had one kid talk on the news last week. He was on the news, and he would never have a year ago opened his mouth to sit and be interviewed by a reporter. And I was like, man, you got this. Come on, you got to just step out. And he did a great job because he shared, his truth. And I'm like, it's about us learning to live in our truth. And how do we grow through our truth?
Ooh, that's it. That's the secret sauce, right? That's what's
Yes.
the essence. Wow. Yes, because all the experiences of trauma are actually guiding us back to that inner truth, because those are the things that shake us to our core. So, girl, you are doing such beautiful work, and it's an honor to be in connection and collaboration with you. And I look forward to continuing to grow with you and support you in any way we can.
Well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you embracing me and allowing me to come in and just saying and welcoming everyone in the collaboration. I feel loved, and love is safe, right? So it really helps. And I don't know, it just makes me feel like I know after our first meeting, I went in and I was like, oh, we're gonna be healing folks. I'm so excited. A breath of fresh air. So thank you very much for
You're
allowing me to
welcome.
be on
And
your platform as well.
comments, I will leave her website, Chrissy's website, and how you can contact her if you want to become involved. And you have a wonderful weekend and enjoy tomorrow.
You as well.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.